segment we like to call How to Get to Second Base for $1. Oh, yeah.
It really takes everything in me not to go, oh, yeah, right afterwards, along with Sammy there. Anyways.
It wouldn't bother me.
All right, so second base for $1. I plugged this as being a something that's not going to cost you a penny. And here's why. I did a test run on Monday, and this works.
Okay.
All right? I actually communicated with my wife, okay?
Because that's such a rare thing.
Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, when I was thinking about it, I was looking through all the Redbox stuff. And honestly, there's not anything like good right now in Redbox that we haven't already talked about on Second Base as a romance movie. There's some good action movies I want to see, but nothing as a romance or a romantic comedy or anything.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it. I was like, I can't just suggest another Redbox movie. This is freaking Valentine's Day, This is uber holiday of love.
Right.
All right?
This is a Super Bowl of second base.
Second base.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I was saying is like, maybe we just need to break it off. Maybe we just need to put down our remotes, boys, and maybe we just need to actually look her in the eye or something.
Okay.
Can it be that simple?
Right.
So this is what I did. My wife always calls me when she's leaving in the morning because I'm already at work when she's heading to court and stuff. Okay. So, but
we should preface that by saying
my wife's an attorney.
Right.
She's not, defending. Yeah. She's not in trouble for anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's her job.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, last few weeks she's been really busy, and so she just is doing stuff on the way to work. She hasn't called me. So Monday, I shoot her a text at like 9 o'clock. Hey, babe, hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. All right?
Yeah.
I get back a little bit later, this I love you too. And then the afternoon was like, hey, hope the afternoon's going well too. Can't wait to see you tonight.
Right.
Little things like that, little hint things. Yeah. The night was wonderful, Second base, check. Wonderful dinner, check.
Yes.
It was good. Okay, so I thought, maybe this is this simple, boys.
Right.
Maybe it is just about the communication. Maybe what my mother's been telling me this whole time was right. Just be a nice guy. So here's what I thought was, and I'm going to plug this blog that I'm almost finished up.
Okay.
There are some great second base or for $1 movies out there. They're still in Redbox, most of the ones. Like I looked, Paranormal Activity 4 is still there, Hope Springs, People Like Us, Trouble with the Curve.
Right.
4 movies that are going to cover the 4 different groups.
Right.
If you're older married, do Hope Springs. If you're younger into horror, scary, or not horror, but scary movies, Paranormal Activity.
Right.
People Like Us is more of a family drama thing, a little bit of comedy. And then Trouble with the Curve is a good just romantic comedy type movie. So you've got all those, and those are still there.
Right.
But I've also got some different tips and stuff I'm putting together in a blog, including a couple of guaranteed recipes.
Okay.
Simple for any Joe to do, but she doesn't have to know it's simple. Okay. The trick to really good chocolate covered strawberries is shortening. Shortening.
For the chocolate?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And so I talk about that in there, and then my wife and I have our annual tradition, which we got to talk about that because we asked some people on Facebook and Twitter what their traditions were if they had any.
Right.
But my annual tradition is cheese fondue. I did this when my wife and I were first married. She didn't have a job, didn't have a whole lot of money, so I went and bought the stuff and made this cheese fondue when we were first married and living in an apartment. And every year, that's our tradition. We don't get each other anything else. We just know our tradition is cheese fondue, and I love it. And this recipe is easy and simple. But, fondue, you go to a fondue place, you're going to drop $100, but you'll be able to do this for way cheaper than that. So, and I've got that and a few other tips I'm putting together in a blog. It's going to be up tomorrow night, so that way you guys will have this weekend to get everything gathered and ready to go, and then hopefully, get to second base like the rest of us. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my plan. I've got your cheap no frills option is just sit back and talk. Have a cup of coffee type of thing. Whatever romantic. Especially if this is a whether it's a newer or an older relationship. It's just it's going back to the simple point of going on a date.
Right.
And you can do that right in your own house.
Right.
But it can be, really fancy or romantic that way. So we'll see where it goes from there. But now that I've brought that up, do you have any Valentine's Day traditions at all, Jeff?
I don't.
Okay.
For me, the important part about Valentine's Day is before Valentine's Day is shut up and listen. Because I think that one of the biggest missteps that guys make going into Valentine's Day is they say, "Oh, I want to do this," or "This is my idea for Valentine's Day," but don't, listen to her, see what she wants. And for me and my wife, Valentine's Day isn't a big, Super Bowl event for us. We just kind of roll with, whatever. We don't make big restaurant plans or do anything like that, because for us, it's more about the things that you do periodically. I think if you focus too much on, and I'm not one of those guys who's anti-Valentine's Day. I think it's fun to do, but don't let that lose throughout the year. So one of our first Valentine's Day, guys are not card giving animals.
No, and I think I'm glad you brought that up, because like I could write a card if I really tried romantic,
Right.
but no, my cards have to be funny.
Yeah.
I always buy the comedy ones. Yeah.
So my wife had pointed out to me that I never give a card, and I'm just like, well, unless it's a relative, or maybe if someone's dying, maybe if you were in the hospital, I might buy you a card, but
Okay.
you probably wouldn't want it.
No, it better be funny.
Yeah, it better be funny. So I just wasn't a card. So I just didn't give my wife cards. I just completely and she had brought that up earlier, probably around Christmas time. So I just logged that away. I mean, that's one of the most important things I think guys can do, is when things come up with their wives, you got to log that information away for when it's an appropriate time.
Right.
So when Valentine's Day rolled around, when she came home from work, I had an oversized card that I had bought and wrote on, and I had rose, petals all around, and had a couple of little gifts sitting there for her. So she came in and she had this giant card, and I think I even bought her like a few little cards too. And so that was cool. And then last year, I'm not a good cook, and so over the past couple of years, I've slowly been trying to learn a little bit of cooking. So last year, I tried to recreate our first meal that we had on our first date for her, and then so just simple things like that. And I will say, if you guys do want to do a movie, try to do something a little bit unique. One thing I did with my wife, and she loved it, and this is going to depend on wherever you're at in the country, because some places you can't do this. But Shireen and I, we just took a blanket and a little picnic down to a park at evening, and we brought a laptop and a DVD with us, and we sat down there in the park. We put down our blanket. We popped in the movie. I think we brought popcorn with us and some drinks. And
I love it.
so you sit down and you watch a movie in the park. The other thing you can do, and I know you've talked about this, and you're a battery guy, so you can maybe set people up better for this, is go park somewhere in your car.
Right.
And plug in one of those
Inverters and and plug it up there. And I love that. Unique, not in the movie itself, but in the setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just use your TV. I think that's an awesome idea. And what's great too, I'm gonna have to add that to my blog, because stuff like cheese fondue, you don't need to be around electricity for this.
Yeah.
The chocolate covered strawberries, you don't need to be around electricity for that. That's great to really set the mood. But yeah, with laptops and everything else, you don't need anything. Or go all out and do a battery, an inverter, and a TV and the DVD player, and you're good to go. And
now you could
perfect
even
romance,
you could even go camping and then just bring the laptop or whatever with you. Now if someone does want to go do the car thing and how much are one of those like little inverter boxes?
Oh, you can get just about anywhere for like $30 or $40.
Okay.
I mean, they're not that bad. But yeah, I mean, if you like, I'm imagining in my head like going all out. Like, I think I know somebody I could borrow a projector from.
Right.
And then project us on this huge sheet. Like I'm thinking like you could go all out and set up this really cool, for just the two of you, movie theater outdoors type of thing. Like even if that was just, and you did that in your own backyard.
Yeah.
Don't have to drive away anywhere. Just do something unique like that in your own backyard. And here in Phoenix, I mean, weather's perfect, to do something like that and watch a movie at 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Now, if you did get one of those converters and did a projector and a DVD player or a small TV, would you be able to drive home, or would your battery be dead?
Your battery would be dead. Yeah,
Okay.
at the end of a 2-hour-long movie, yeah, it's going to drain down your battery when you're running all that stuff. So you'd want to have like a separate battery or something. So yeah, so maybe this is more, but still, the unique place is a good idea. That's going into the vlog. See, this is maybe we should start talking out more and more when it comes to the second base for $1 stuff. But since we're on the subject, there's a couple people I want to mention.
Okay.
People don't have a lot of traditions for Valentine's Day.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe people just, their relationships don't last long enough for them to have traditions or something. I don't know. It's honestly the only holiday that I really have a set tradition every time anyways too. But Kyle Mooney, who does a podcast on the 4-Eyed Radio Network that we're part of, he posted that his sister and his fiance are both florists. So after they've worked these 12-hour shifts, the last thing they want to see is more flowers. So he's completely off the hook. Right. And he said usually what their big thing is, they'll do a nice dinner and they'll like do some homemade pasta shells and something like that is a thoughtful. But they'll make dinner together, which is a cool thing too. There's another object is you do dinner together and do that. But I had some other people, Dana, who is somebody who listens to us out of Texas. She commented, "No traditions. We don't even do cards." She's like, "Sorry." Can't do it. I mean, and she's been married for 10 years now. Has a son and a daughter, and they just don't have any traditions, anything like that. So for some people, they see it as that mass market chocolate, flowers, cards, a dumb holiday. My cousin Belinda, Nate and Belinda, they got married. Is the 12th? They wanted to get married on Valentine's Day because neither one of them can stand the holiday. All. They never celebrate. My cousin Belinda doesn't have anything to do with it. They never do. So they actually wanted to get married on it. So then they just have some reason to celebrate with everybody else. But the way the weekend worked out and stuff, I think it's the 12th is when their anniversary is. But yeah, so their Valentine's Day weekend is their anniversary of their marriage. So yeah,
that's funny because I just gave them their wedding
DVD. I know you told me that, and perfect timing. They're gonna love that. So
I mean, I totally thought about that when
But anyway, so there you go. Lots of second base for $1. Look for the blog.
The 12A podcast is released every other Wednesday and distributed on the 4-Eyed Radio Network. To learn more about the podcast, check out 12aproductions.com.